Good morning. This is the Daily Call with Dave Weiner. We're going to get started here right now. It's January 6, 2015. A couple of housekeeping tips. Following this call immediately at 9 a.m. is what we do every week. It is our national conference call. And we will, before we exit today, we'll give you the number and the where to find it for you and your team. We do this once a week. It's an update call for the entire United States, and it happens every Tuesday at between 9 o'clock and 9:30. So you get the chairman of the company, the CEO out there. It's you tend to be involved in a relationship with us in the business. You got to be up to date with what's going on in the company. So with that said, my name is Dave Weiner. I'm your host. This is our region. Exciting day. I had a case yesterday, and I wanted to share this case and kind of want to build upon it because, case design and what you do step by step. So in this interview yesterday, we uncovered this 48-year-old female who was contributing $500 a month into her 401k plan. And she was getting 100% match. And I'll have to open up some tools here in a second, but I want to walk through the steps of what to do to replace that case, if you can. I'm going to do a preview, and I'm going to cover everything. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do, and then just kind of the basics right here. And I am really excited about this case. I think this is a great thing. So, and I also want to share that we got a lot of other things on the horizon, some huge things about to happen, but we're going to start here. This is a 48-year-old female, and we now know she's saving $500 a month. And her company's giving her an extra $500 a month on top of it. And she's got tucked away over $100,000 already. Now, she hasn't, it should be more, but you know what? It's going to get there. But she's got $100,000 on the plate. So what is step number one? Well, step number one is you got the information. You're doing great. It doesn't mean she's going to give that money to you. You got to make an argument that makes sense because she's on track to having some significant money at retirement time. And it's time now to start the process. So where do we start? Well, in today's class, I'm going to start with our calculator, the index calculator. Now, I do not have the most up-to-date one yet from Jerry. I'll have it sometime this week, I hope. Maybe I'll see him when I'm in Vegas and get that from him. But I'm going to use the one that goes from 1999 to 2013. And I am going to share with my client that you've got some obstacles for retirement, and one of those is the risk factor. We assume we have to take on risk to be a great saver. And our competition says if they go with us and get no risk, this is what our naysayers say, you won't capture great gains. And if I'm using an insurance product, the cost of the life insurance will crush you. That's what the naysayer says. And I'm bringing it up right here at the beginning. I'm going to tell you right now, I have not missed in any cases. I placed this year a CPA, and he put $120,000 a year in his plan. This is what I'm saying at the very beginning of the conversation. There's no way a tax professional is going to, knowing what he knows about IRAs and 401ks and being an advocate for his entire career, is also going to toss $120,000 in a year, every year, into a life insurance policy unless there's some merit. So I'm going to begin with risk, and I'm going to teach you how you've been doing it versus the way I do it. And I'm just going to have to pop that up here. Just bear with me for a second. I'm going to pop up our little index calculator, a better way to save. And I'm going to get that thing up there. And I'm going to go to the view box, and I am going to give me a full screen. I know that I learned that from Mr. Jerry last week. I think that's a great thing. And folks, this is a female, so I got to change my deal here. And I can't use 40 and I can't use 50. I'll use 45 in this example. Keep it real simple. And I want you to see something right here. She's already got $100,000. And over here, I don't get to go to 100, but I don't get to go below it. So I'm just going to put 100,000 over there for right now. And you can see right here, I just want to walk through if you had 100,000 15 years ago, this is client, this is the real market returns every physical year. And I think Jerry told me that the returns this past year was like 11.5%, but I don't remember exactly what the number was. And I think he's probably here by now, but it's not important because we don't have that calculator up. What we do have are these numbers right here to the end of 2013. 100,000 last year. Bill Clinton earned 19.5%. You went to 119. You then had your dot-com implosion, and the 119 eroded to 107. Then you had your terrorist attacks of 2001. And we lost 13%, and a lot of confidence in a lot of things that year. And your 100,000 now we're up 93,000. Then we went into a full-scale recession in 2002, lucky George Bush, down to 71,000. And then the market started climbing back up the next 5 years, gaining 26, almost 9, 3, 13.5, 3.5. In fact, you climbed all the way back to where you were the last year before the first dot-com implosion. You're back to even. And then the real estate markets plummeted with the stock market bubble 38% 5 years ago. And you fell back to 73,000. Then you spent the next handful of years not only getting back to even, but then climbing to a mega profit as you earned 29% in the year 2013 and climbed to $150,000. It doesn't have to be this way. I'm excited about that. It doesn't have to be this way. Folks, I'm going to give you a contract with a life insurance company that will give you up to 13% of the market share with 0%. And I can't wait to see our calculator for F&G, Jerry, if you're here, with no cap and zero, and I mean zero risk factor. Factor in the 1.5% fee, but I would love to see how that compares across the board, because that ought to make these numbers just beyond anything I can comprehend. But we'll deal with these numbers right here. 100,000. First year you went to 113. Which one do you prefer, 119 or 113? You're going to tell me, Dave, that's what that Wall Street guy's been telling me. You won't give me the returns that my contract dictates, and it's just not right. Okay? And the next year, sluggish, 107 to 113. Next year, 93 to 113, 71 to 113. How do you feel now? Well, it's going to bounce back. My broker told me not to worry. It's going to be fine. Okay. Hey, I got 26%. Yours only gave 13. That's true. But you got 26 of what? 26 of 71,000. You climbed to 90. I got 13 on 113. I climbed to 127. Oh, well, we're going to have more better years. So the next year you didn't make it. You slugged out at 9. The next year, 3, 13, 16. Okay, you got a little bit better gain there. You got almost a half point more than me. How do you feel now? You're a handful of years in. I'm at 161 and you're at 115. What do you think so far? Is that enough time? Let's go a little further. 3.5, 3.5, minus 38. I'm at 0 again. You're back down to 73,000. I'm at 167 and holding. Which do you prefer? That's going to do better. I got 23%. You only got 13. 23 of 73,000 only took you back to 90. I got 13 of 167. I climbed to 189. Yes, I know. Your broker told you you're not going to get all the gains in this life insurance contract. I know. But I don't know. Which one do you prefer, 189 or 90? The next year, 12.78 both sides, 0 both sides. The next year, 13.41 to my 13. And yeah, you really hit a 29%er. Well, now here we are at the end of 15 years, and you're at 150, and I'm at 272, and we haven't got to the rest of the story. Because at this point, sitting in IRAs and 401ks, guess what? You got cost of doing business. That's called fees. And over here, you got taxes, state and federal. Now, insurance policies got costs, no question about it. If you're 45 years of age, I got cost of $38,000. If I bump her age up, folks, and I can do that really quick here, I can go up here and bump her age. I'll move her to 50 and take a higher cost of doing business. I'll bump it to $41,000 in cost. I'm okay with that. My actual rate of return for the 15 years is 11.53. Minus out my cost of doing business, I got an 8.73. Let's look at where you're actually at. You have an actual rate of return of 3.36, and when I subtract off the fees, you've now made 0.25%. Ooh, ouch. When you take out the taxes, you're now a negative minus 2.5% because you got to pay taxes on that money. You've only got $62,000 of spendable money, and mine gets to come out, ooh, is that right? Tax-free? Ouch. Taxable, tax-free. My costs are basically the same. And guess what we got for this? I got a life insurance death benefit that gave me tax advantages because now I get to save the tax advantages of life insurance. Which one do you prefer? I'm not done yet, but which one do you like better? Do you want $168,000 more, or do you want to play over here in this pond? Now, I know, it's life insurance. Folks, at that point in time, it's time to bring in some third-party credibility, right? Please play the video of MedSlot. And this is the new type of life insurance, the kind you don't have to die, and it plays a role. Please play the Weiner video. They're on your website. When you're participating in this program, you get a website just like mine. It's done exactly like mine. Looks just like this. And everything is in there. We're adding some fee stuff in there today. I just sent over off the website. So you go like this. You open up your website. And I could have started with red line, blue line, but I didn't. I just went right to the calculator. I just signed up. There's where your videos are, Global Renaissance Video Vault. I'm going to come back to that in a second. But the first video I want you to play is this old man right here. He's famous. He's on public TV all the time. That's Ed Slott, Super CPA, professional tax advisor, not insurance license, not securities license, telling people to put qualified retirement money into life insurance contracts. And after you play that, play the 10-minute video of me telling them about the new type of death benefit because it's part of it. Now, this is the easy part. Create the illustration. We're getting into the meat and potatoes, but we're just physically getting started. We go in here, we hit the start button, we hit new illustration, and we go in here, we click on Flex Life. This is a female. She's 48 years of age. She's healthy. I asked. But Dave, your calculator didn't take account of matching fees. Don't judge a wine before it's time. We will get that factored in. So let's go in here. We're going to hit the word minimum death benefit. And we're going to go in here. We're going to put a specified amount. And the very first thing I'm going after, folks, is just the contribution. I will go after the lump sum in a second, but the first illustration is go after the contribution. I'm going to put in 500, and I'm going to put in here 1-age 70. I am going to do a solve for district for income. I'm going to leave it loans only, and there we go, 871. I'm going to go up here and change this to monthly EFT. And the very first thing you're going to see on this illustration right here, folks, I want you to see all this. There's your death benefit, $331,000. You've got a target premium of $5,374. We're not done yet, but that's a $5,000 case so far for commission purposes, which would generate about $3,700 of income, which is not a bad day's work if you're a VP. I'll take that all day long, but we're not done yet. Not opening up a report. I'm just going to do a quick view. I just want to extrapolate a couple quick numbers. Got $331,000 death benefit. I've got $6,000 going in. And we scroll all the way down to 871, and I got $40,860 of income. I got a $331,000 death benefit, $40,000 of income. And I need one more number, so I guess I'm going to have to open up the report. It's an important report, but I'm going to open it. And I'm just going to click on this, and I'm just going to go run reports. I need to know what my accelerated death benefit is for critical illness. And I'm going to scroll down a couple of pages in. And my upfront money is $262,321. $262,321. $331,977 death benefit and a $40,860 income. Now, I need another calculator opened up. So I go up here, and I grab the 401k fee calculator. And I put my information in. She's putting in $500 a month. Company match is 100%. She's got $1,000 a month going in. Now the current value, I'm going to just leave it 0 for right now. She's going to start at 0. And I'm going to go here, rate of return, and I'm going to put the actual rate of return of 3.36. I'm going to put her current age of 48. We'll drop it down and put that age. Going to retire at age 70. Now I'm going to go here, retirement income. 40% tax bracket is reasonable to me. I'm going to put in my $40,860. My fees are in there, and I'm now competing against the match. Whoops. 40,860, not 48. For her to pull out $40,000 a year out of her 401k plan, she has to withdraw $68,000 before tax to net $40,000 spent on money. And at the age of 75, oops, she's out of money. I'm not. She is. But Dave, she's got a $100,000 head start. You're right. She does. I guess I'd best go back into my illustration software and move that money. So I go back to death benefit and funding, and I go into my premium box, and I'm going to move $50,000 of the 100, which is $835 a month. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to change my monthly amount to $1,335, and I'm going to go like this, 1-5. And then I'm going to go here and add a row. I'm going to put specified amount, and I'm going to drop this down to 500. And I'm going to go like this and go 6-age 70. This will catch up on the other side, and this is going to change my death benefit. going to move my death benefit because I got to have more death benefit to get that much money into $565,000. This is no longer a $3,000 commission to you. We're moving this money in over 5 years. So now we got $9,000 of target premium. You do the math. 9,000 times, say, 75%. What is it? It's over $6,000, isn't it? It's not a bad day's work. But we're not done yet, are we? Got to take a look at what this looks like on the illustration. Does it change my cash flow? Because I'm going to put $100,000 on her side in a second, so I got to do a quick view and grab an income stream. And my new income is, did I get all my money in? Yes, I did. Good. And I got $67,191 of income tax-free. $67,191. We're going to tell the rest of the story here in a second. I need to grab a quick report. And I got to hit run, and I just want to get my new living benefit amount and my new death benefit amount. And we're going to now look at the whole picture. So we got a new death benefit of $565,871 to her widow, if God forbid she passes. And I got a new upfront money, $451,981. Well, we got some things we got to cover here. So we go back to the 401k fee calculator. Wait a minute. Bear with me for 1 second. Forgot to grab one quick number. I got it. All right. So now I go back in the 401k calculator. We go back to income for the IUL. Make sure we got to add her $100,000 in. Now, I haven't put no money in for us yet. Now I'm going to go to the next page. And I have not adjusted my income for my higher amount. Even if I never moved that money in from her 401k, but I factored in her $100,000, I still beat her without any of the $100,000 coming to me. She's out of money at age 76, but you see, I get to add a higher income. I'm now at $67,191. She's out of money in 4 years instead of 5 years. She's got $50,000 more in her program than I do, and she's got $6,000 more a year going in her program than I do, and that's still not the whole story. Because there's 3 things that can happen. First thing that can happen between now and retirement time is she can die. We just traded a taxable asset, folks. Traded a taxable asset of $100,000 for a non-taxable asset. We asked her to pay $50,000 in tax and penalty. And I told her we'd get it back, every penny. In our plan, we get it back. If, God forbid, she dies, I'm delivering to her spouse $565,871. The first question I have to ask you is $565 bigger than $100,000? Did I recover the $50,000 in cost, the taxes and penalties? Did she get them back? But Dave, she died. She died, Dave. What kind of deal is that? You got to die. Did the family recover the cost? The answer is yes. What can I do with $565,000? Well, let's take a look what we can do with that. We've got a choice. If she died today with the money in the 401k, her husband is only going to, there won't be no penalties, but her husband's only going to get $60,000 on the 401k side versus us, $565,000. The tax has got to be paid. Might as well recover it, right? And if you have to turn that into income, let's assume you get a 5% payout on an annuity, and you can get a bonus. The left side's not a big deal. You can still take them to the Land of Lincoln. We can take them to Lincoln, and we can pick up an $18,000 bonus if this happened in real life. You take it to almost $78,000. You could round it off to 80 for round figures, and that would produce an income of $4,000 a year. Or she can die with the $565,871 death benefit, and I add 30% to that. What's 30% being added? If you want to round it off to simple terms, it's 56,000 times 3. It's 160-some thousand. You want to keep it simple? Take it to 665, add it about 725,000. At a 5% payout, what is that? Well, 735 plus 12, about $36,500 of income. Which do you think my client wants? 36.5 for life when his wife passes, or 4,000? He doesn't want to have an income and just wants to spend a lump sum? I can appreciate that. What can I do with that lump sum? I could divide it over 5 years and put it back into the IUL, couldn't I? What kind of retirement would that give him at age 70 if, God forbid, she went tomorrow and he didn't need the money? Versus $60,000 after taxes. This is not cool. Index Universal Life is absolutely, in the event of death, an amazing tool, but we're not done yet. Let's keep going. This is the new type of life insurance, isn't it? Just say yes. It is. It's the new type of life insurance. It means we do not have to die. If my client suffers a critical illness, in the 401k, probably no access to any funds, unless they sever their ties. They leave the job. So that $100,000, probably not accessible. But not us. I get up to, in one of our companies, up to 95% of that death benefit. In the LSW illustration, they're giving us access to $451,981. And by the way, is that bigger than the $100,000 she came to the table with? Did she get back her $50,000 in cost to move the money? Yay or nay? Yes, she did. What can I do with $451,000, even if it happens 30 days from today? I can turn that into income, can't I? I can pick up about $130,000 on top of the $450. 45, 90, 135, 135 on top of 450 is 585. Keep it simple. 585,000, let's say times 5%. What does that give you? Just a snag under 20, about let's say $27,000 to $28,000 a year, guaranteed income for life. The older she is, the bigger the payout. The younger she is, the lesser the payout. But it doesn't matter. It's guaranteed income, and it starts 30 days after we put the money in. We accelerate, and we create a guaranteed income for life. And remember, this is a non-taxable asset, so I can do a true spouse continuation even with the Land of Lincoln Company. I can do that with Phoenix. Which do you prefer? Access probably to zero versus $451,000. Your choice. It's a pretty big deal, isn't it? It can create guaranteed income until both spouses are gone off the planet. Now my question. It's time to close the deal. isn't it? So, client, you're doing $500 a month. We've taught you risk versus no risk. We talked to you about eliminating taxation. We talked to you about getting all your costs back fees versus zero net fees. You're doing $500 a month. I only have one question to ask you as we get ready to take your application right now. Do you want to just keep doing the same amount of money, or do you want to do more now? That's it. Taught you some things. You want to do same, or more. Now it's time to slide back into your thing. And you go to the National Life website. You go up here to what's called Business Development. You go to Forms and Applications. You go down to iGo eApp. And I might have to log back in because it's been a while, unless if it kicks me out. But this is not a difficult process. Taking a while, so I'm thinking it's going to kick me out. And we're getting some questions. I'm going to kill that box. For whatever reason, it's not making the jump, so we're going to re-jump it ourselves. Huh. I'm not sure why it's not working. If we can get this thing to bounce open here. But you want to go to iGo eApp. And it could be because I've been out in the mountains here, and I could be having a challenge with the internet. So it's always possible. But I don't seem to be getting there. But the bottom line is the next step is to input your application. You input. Now, folks, listen very carefully. You input it, and you submit it. Now, if you're doing eApp, you send over the email for them to review the application. They review it. They apply an e-signature, and you're done. App is done. It's in the system. You then order the medical. I happen to like Portomedic. Everybody's got their different preferences. I just happen to feel Portomedic is the one that just seems to do a good job for me. I then make a copy of the PDF. You can forward the PDF to me or to Javier. Doesn't matter. We use Javier to track our business of LSW and let them help us. So there's no mistakes. Get the PDF to them. You send a copy of the illustration. And the great thing is you will see that case in the system under your name on the computer the very next day. It's in the system. You put the app in. It's not a complicated process. And then you order the medical. And now LSW is the kind of company that will not draft until the policy is issued. Now, please, folks, when you're filling out the application, do not put in a date for the draft. You can go in after the policy is done and paid for. Too many times the person will put the 18th, and then we'll issue the policy on the 19th, but we won't actually pay commissions to the following month to draft the account for the next month of the 8th. If you pick a date and it's past that date, it doesn't matter. we're not going to issue till we come to the next time that date comes around. So you always check off next available date. And it's a process. Now you got that app and you got their e-signatures, you put everything away. Are you done yet? No, you're not. Most important work is now coming up. This is the part that causes your agency to grow exponentially. It's a process, and this is the part of the process that I happen to love. $500 a month on a 48-year-old. She's got 500 hours matching funds. I want you to ask yourself the question, is she going to lose the matching funds? Yes. If she moves, she doesn't get them. I know we beat their numbers. But is $500 a month enough? Answer, no, it is not. We're going to teach you how to set up an illustration so you can put more money in. Now this I want you to pay very, very close attention to. This is going to make it very easy on you. This is important stuff, and I know how to do this with Anaco. I know how to do this with LSW. I do not know how to do this with Phoenix. I do not know how to do this with F&G yet. But I do know how to do this with LSW, and it's important because you've got to have room to be able to put those numbers in. $500 a month is nowhere near what she needs to be saving. Why do I say that? Well, have you ever heard of a word called inflation? Do things ever cost more? Is a gallon of milk the same price as it was 10 years ago? Is a movie ticket the same price as it was 10 or 15 years ago? Gasoline's going back down to some crazy figure long ago. But again, that's not a normal thing that happens. Does it cost more to eat out at a restaurant? Do things cost more money? So if you're building something based on delivering $67,191, which is a projection, not a guarantee, just a projection, but in today's dollars, is that going to be enough 15, 20, 30 years from now? Answer, no. She needs to save a lot more. Is she going to agree to save a lot more? No. She is going to say do the same. Everybody is going to pretty much say same. Once in a while, you'll have to say, throw another $100 a month in or $50 a month in. It's not going to be a dramatic figure, but you're going to start them someplace. And I got to tell you something, folks. I get that. Now it's time for that heart-to-heart. Do you have your figures memorized? I got mine memorized. If you want $5,000 of income based upon today's dollars and a rate of return of 8%, if you're 20 years of age, how much do you have to put away? And the answer is $113 a month. If you want to break it down by the week, that's about $28 a week. But 20-year-olds don't save no money. They don't care about it. You're 30 years of age. You got to put away $260. $260 is $65 a week. Sorry. Not enough people saving $260 a month now, are there? But you're 40 years of age. We just jumped to $628. That's over $157 a week. Now, if you wrote a $157 a week case in the life insurance industry, you are happy. If you wrote $628 a month, and did that 2 or 3 times a week, you are happy. You're making a living. 50 years of age, it just jumped to $1,727. How much is that? That's over $430 a week. She's 2 years from that plateau. She's not doing, she's at 500. She's 2/3 behind that scale. And if you're 60 years of age, it's only $8,135, which is basically about $2,035 a week or some crazy, maybe $2,040 a week. Yeah, that's a problem. We're not saving that much. $2,000 a week's a lot of money. They're going to say same. You know they need to do more. You know they need to do more, but they are going to say same. Just reality. You're not going to change their current budget. They are, in most cases, living on the edge. As crazy as it is, they're on the edge. Now, they can tuck away little pennies, but that's really not going to make a difference. They need to save thousands more a month. You got to be able to have that conversation with them. Folks, there is a way for them to get to prosperity. Financial planners state you have to have more than one source of income to reach retirement today. What do you have? Well, you used to have at retirement time, listen very carefully, this is what you used to have. You used to get a pension, Social Security, your savings, and your investments. Now, somewhere along the line, I don't know how this happened, but we know the pension died. They stopped giving them. They got X'd out. When we started thinking our investments was our savings. There weren't 2 buckets there. We X'd out a bucket there too. And our employers who used to make promises, that if you give me 30 years of work, I'll give you a pat on the back, a gold watch, and a percentage of your income. Then somebody changed the tax laws back in 1974. ERISA was the first one. The Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974 went in effect. It was a law to protect you from letting employers rip off the pension fund, but it was also a law that gave birth to the IRA. And every tax law passed from that point forward was to encourage you to save money. This was supposed to supplement your pension. This was meant to supplement Social Security. It was never meant to be your retirement income. But these employers saw how they could manipulate the language. Say, you know what? Let's tell Joe Schmo that we're going to do the 401k thing, and here's a great thing. You're going to be in control of your investments. You're going to be able to choose where you're going to. Yeah, you're financial experts. That's a great thing. You're going to control your investments, and here's the deal. I'm going to match those. I'm going to match that contribution for you. I'm going to be a good guy, and we're going to have this great thing, and stock market's going to go up, and you're going to do your homework, and you're going to have great returns. And whatever you put away, whether you put away $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, I am just going to match it. You look like a great guy, the boss. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to put a big wow. Wow. If I'm an employer, I would gladly do a match instead of putting away what it would take to replace your income. That was a gift. For every company, every corporation that adopted that model, that was a gift for profitability. I don't got to put away a couple $1,000s a month for Joe on the line. Super. Joe's only putting away $200 a month. And I'm joking, folks, but it's not funny. They really think that way. I was going to have to put away $2,000 a month, but I got rid of that. And I had to, because somehow the USA gave away all our jobs, gave away all stuff. They did NAFTA, and now I got to compete price-wise with stuff being made in India. I can't compete that way. Something's got to go. Oh, thank you. I don't have to put that $2,000 a month away anymore for Joe. Joe's putting away $300 this month. Well, I don't have to do $2,000. I'll just put away the $300. And then companies started doing away with the match. Times got tough, and now they weren't doing anything for you. Wow, we gave you a 401k plan. And they never, ever, ever explained, ever, how the burden of your retirement was now clearly defined on your shoulders, and you had no clue. You were destroyed and never had an idea how bad you were destroyed. The only way back for you, the only way back, is for you to take control. You have got to take control, and you have to increase your revenue, and you cannot do a pie-in-the-sky way of increasing it. This isn't about potions and lotions and selling vitamins. You're going to need a second career. You are going to need a second income stream. Now, you've got choices. You can get a job and work someplace part-time to start increasing your revenue, or you can be smart and own an income-producing business. You don't have to run it. If you want to, we can get you a loan. You can go buy a McDonald's or buy a Subway restaurant, put a manager in place. Anything that will increase your revenue. Let me tell you something. If you own a Subway restaurant, even if you have to employ someone to manage it for you, you could have positive cash flow after paying your debt service of about $75,000 a year net after taxes that you could now be tucking away for retirement. You could own a financial services practice like I do, helping people learn risk versus no risk. And let me tell you something. In my practice, everybody wants to know that risk versus no risk. You wouldn't be moving forward and doing the FME if you didn't want that. Tax versus no tax. You like that? Fees versus zero net fees. You love that. No income versus income. You got 200 plus contacts. In the past, all I'd want to do is have you give me a referral. Well, you need a business. You need to be in my business helping people save money. And if you help someone save $100 a week, or two people to make $100 a week, even at our entry-level contract, that's $1,440 a week. Now, what if you got your license so you could receive compensation, but you couldn't explain it like I can? And you had to hire someone like me to come explain that to your contacts. That's fine. You split it 50-50. And guess what? It's still $3,000 a month of new revenue. You see, you get to hire someone to work for you. Imagine you own a business, and you're sitting here watching this call, and you say, I get to hire Carlos Millsap. He knows how to do this. And Mr. Millsap goes out there and does an appointment for you. You just hired him for your company. You see, you own a business, and you could subcontract Carlos Millsap. He may be in your hierarchy, may not be in your hierarchy, but you can subcontract him and say, Carlos, I've got this client. I want you to present to it, and I'm paying you 50%. You see, that's being smart. You do not have to be the salesman in the company. You just have to own the business. And what you do with that cash flow from the business, even if it's only $3,000 a month, let's just tuck away half. $1,500 of $3,000, and then you add in the first $500 you're doing. We're now putting away $2,000 a month. Does that make a difference? Well, let's find out. So I go into my illustration software, and I know we're running up on that national call, but I want to just plug in these numbers as fast as humanly possible, because I think it's important to plug in those numbers. So we go in here, we got that money being moved over, and I go into my funding box. And folks, we're gonna have some fun here. We put this person to work, and we're adding some money to the mix. And I added $1,500, so $1,335 plus $1,500 takes us to $2,835. Is that correct? I think so. There's $2,000 in this box. We now have the same person. It's your client. Remember, we now got $1,577,000 of death benefit for the spouse if God forbid you die. That's over with LSW. The max is $1 million up front. That's $1 million up front. By the way, now this is a target premium of $25,000. This is looking very attractive. And what kind of income? Quick view. Where did we take her income-wise at age 70? And the answer to that equation is tax-free, $192,000 a year. Inflation riddle solved. It's 9 minutes on top of the hour. We're going to give you the phone number. We're going to show you how to find the phone number for the national conference call. We want you to be on the national call, folks. So I'm going to take us to our company website, freedomequitygroup.com. You can see right here, we sold out our event. 850 of us are converging on Vegas this week. There are no more seats. I can't believe we actually sold it up, but we really did. And we go in here to the calendar. We go to the weekly leaders call. I scroll this down, and you dial this number, 866-906-7447. You then enter your PIN, 7912032 with the pound sign. Can you do this? 866-906-7447, 7912032. You're 7 minutes on top of the hour. That call starts in 7 minutes. If you get dialed in before 9 o'clock hour, you actually get to introduce your name and where you're calling from. And you are part of the fastest growing region in this company. Any questions? I'm going to turn the mic for 1 second to North Carolina, to John Medwin. John, did this help a little bit today for you? John? You must be muted out or not mic'd in. Let's see. I'll go to the Bay Area. It's Nicole Turner. Nicole, did this help a little bit for yourself? I'm getting messages. They're not mic'd in. Okay, not a problem. Folks, we'll see you on the national conference call in a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Being part of the daily call today. My name is Dave Weiner, and I want to tell you again, Dale and Paul, thank you for those nice comments here at the end. And with that said, folks, it's January 6, 2015. And yes, Michael, we are live today at 11 o'clock in the Dare to Dream programming. It's a live workshop today. And with that said, everybody have a great day. Thank you, and we'll see you on the national call. 866-906-7447, extension 791-2032.